family, and the one thing that got me through the hard times was the commitment. And we actually got the support from Mr. Bob and Diane, and Mrs. Diane already. And I have to tell you, this is the church.
My name is Annie Ward. My mom worked very hard to get here. My name is Kevin Ward and I'm 8 years old. My name is Wesley Ward and I'm 11.
My name is Kevin Ward and I'm 13.
Okay, so every single day when I would come home and after we sat down as a family and decided that this is something that we were going to pursue, that we were going to do ACN, and we made a commitment together, these are my cheerleaders, and my husband and my mom. You just go ahead.
Let me tell you, my wife has put a lot of effort in time, and I mean, you can tell all the people that she's came in contact with. I mean, she and myself. I mean, especially my wife. She's really. It's amazing the people that actually care. That it's brought hope to many people, and ACN is just incredible. And I'm very, very blessed.
And my mom, who is also another
And I represent Grandma and Grandpa.
Anyway, we sat down and made a commitment to get this done. And every single night that I came home, they said to me, "How many points did you get today, Mom?" And I was like, some days I was like, none. But there were days when we got to climb up there on the bar stool and fill in these little charts. And if you can see down here on the bottom, there's a lot of different colors. maybe they were 1 point at a time, but we did it. And we finally, I decided last week, and I think you've heard a lot of people in here talk about decisions that they've made, that they were just going to do it. Last Wednesday, I got up in the morning and I said, you know what? I am not going to bed tonight until I am qualified to be team coordinator. And so we went to work, and that day we put in 22 customer points. And I remember calling Kim, and I was like, Kim, I'm so tired. I don't know. This is how many points are in the computer. These are all my confirmation numbers. Did I make it? And she started adding them up. She goes, I was like, ah! And then all my kids started screaming, and we were jumping up and down. And that's when I started to feel like, wow, you can do what you set out to do. It was really, really exciting. So a little bit about where we were when we got started in this business. Like Mrs. Eve said, it had been a rough year for us. Our family, we've been in our family construction company for the last 15 years. I'm an interior designer. My husband's a chef turned contractor with my dad and mom, and my parents are the owners of the company. And we worked very hard, and we were really on the right track to being successful in that industry. We were really excited about what we were doing. But then, anybody know what happened in 2008? Things changed, and fast forward 2 years, 2010, and that year, my dad had I'm going to cry some more. My dad had a major car accident, and he was completely incapable of walking or pretty much doing anything for months at a time, and so it really left the brunt of all the responsibility of running the company on mine and my husband's shoulders. At the time, we were both, he was in the young men's presidency in our church, and I was in the young women's presidency. Very, very busy lives. We were crazier than we'd ever been, plus all the activities that kids this age have. And when we found out that time that my mother-in-law was diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer. So we spent the next several months traveling back and forth to Colorado to be able to spend her last few months of her life with her. And like Mrs. Eve said, probably nobody that knew us would have ever brought ACN to us. So it made sense that when we got home the day after my mother-in-law's funeral, and my husband walked in the door and said to me, somebody named BJ Moore is coming over here, he's got a project he wants us to take a look at. I was like, sweet, we need a job. So I sat down there at my kitchen table with Mr. Moore and Mrs. Eves, I was like, who the heck is this guy? And why does apparently very successful lady in a computer technology industry builds websites what kind of a project do they want me to work on? But at the time, I really, really, really realized that what they were saying made sense, and I listened, and it really hit me in my heart. And just like she said, we had family members marching in, and I sat there at the table. My sister came in to say hello, hey, I love you, welcome back. I didn't even get up from the table or even offer her to sit down. And then she walked out. We had people dropping off food. BJ's like, wow, you have nice neighbors. I'm like, thanks. It was not really probably the best timing, but we understood that what we were seeing was an answer to our prayer. In fact, I actually said to Mr. Moore and Mrs. Eves, I said, you know what? We've been praying for something. And when I saw this opportunity and started really processing, first of all, I looked over at my husband and he had that holy crap look on his face, and I knew that we were done. But I was the more, I like to make sure that this was real, and I sat there and I just started thinking of all the people that I knew that had worked with us in the construction industry. We had a major cabinet supplier that we worked with that had a really high-end business that lost his business, and I knew he was in Hawaii selling satellite TV, or not satellite, home security systems. He was gone from his 10 kids for 4 months out of the time. We had another guy, a real estate broker that we worked with, that lost his home and his brokerage firm. He was selling satellite TV, or home security in Texas. And the guy down the street from us had three retail shops. He was selling installing satellite TV with his son. And then I realized the only person that I knew that wasn't affected by the economy, he was Shannon's uncle, and he lives in Texas working for a big energy supplier selling energy. And I'm like, does this make sense, right? Like, it kind of makes sense. I was like, okay, I like this. And then I started really deciding whether we were going to do it or not. And I started talking to people. And I know that that's probably not one of the things that you are trained to do, but I did mention this thing, and I had people say to me, that will never work. You will never make money. In fact, I had more opinions about doing this business than I ever had when I was deciding to spend thousands of dollars and go to school for interior design. Okay? How many of you guys out there have paid for an interior designer ever? Oh my gosh. Yay, 2 people. Awesome. Okay, so do you see why this made sense to me? I'm like, okay, nobody ever tried to talk me out of that, but give me an opportunity to sell internet, TV, home phones, cell phones. Like, every one of you are paying for at least one of those bills. Like, are you kidding me? Right? Okay, so I sat there and I said, you know what? That day at our kitchen table, I saw hope for our family for the first time in at least 2 years. And I don't know if any of you have ever heard this said in ACN, but they say in ACN, all we are is hopium dealers. I thought, I was so euphoric that night. In fact, my husband and I were like, oh, this better be real. This better be real. We were so euphoric about the feeling of having hope again in our life. In fact, I found now that it is the most powerful emotion that you can feel. Not anger, not fear, not happiness, not love. is more powerful than hope. And so that's what I found with this company. And I basically, like Kim said, just jumped on and hung on for dear life because I didn't really know what I was involved with. And like she said earlier, that I wasn't smart enough to know what the compensation plan was. I was smart enough to know that I needed to hang on to her. So when she said jump, we jumped. When she said that my husband needed to get started in the business the next day after I did, even though we were totally broke, we did that. And then when she said my 12-year-old son needed a cell phone, we did that. When she said that we needed a home phone, we got a home phone. And when she told us that we needed to go to Arizona for a leadership training, I said, okay, when? She said, well, we need to leave in 3 hours. I said, whoa! And I looked over at my husband and he said, you better go. And by the way, it was my anniversary. I said, okay, because I knew without a doubt, if I was to have success in this company, I needed to listen to the people that were getting me started. And that's really what really hit her and BJ, the two of them worked tirelessly. Like, I think that I remember picking her up and dropping her off at appointments that she was doing in my team, literally giving her a hamburger. And I was like, you have to eat, Kim. I'm worried about you. I want you to keep working. And so I did every single thing they told me to do, and that's why I found success when I first got started in this company. But since then, we have found the most incredible leaders. We have Ed and Tiffany Richin, and Mindy and Walt Sowers, and Randy Benson, and George and Lorena Wright, Tristan Webb, and all executive team leaders, Tashina Gilman, and Nikki, and Christian. I was going to say, I was like, I think Hudson. And my parents, my mom and dad, and then Danny Eason and Taylor Stratton that are going to be ETLs literally seconds from now. We have incredible executive team trainers that are hitting ETL soon. We've got Laura and Bo Thompson and Lisa and Robert Roberry and Melinda Pedros, and I'm so excited for the people that I get to wake up and work with every day, and the kinds of things that I've been able to do for the people that I've gotten started in this business, and just their story. So I will tell you right now what my kids said to me when we got done filling out that chart. When are we going to hit regional vice president, Mom? I said, okay. Director by December of this year and regional vice president by April of next year.